Have you ever subconsciously giving people silent treatment whenever there needs to be difficult conversation happening between you two? The reason why it could happen is because obviously you want to avoid a very difficult conversation that is about to take place between you two. A lot of the times when we had a disagreement with our loved one, like our friends, our partner, our family, silent treatment is used as a defense mechanism for us to not talking about our feelings so that we don't have to say hurtful words to our friends, to our partner, to our family that we have disagreement with. So we keep that to ourselves. But at the same time, we want them to figure out by themselves that, hey, they hurt us, hey, they upset us. And this is why we are giving them silent treatment, and this is why we distance ourselves from them. Or there are sometimes we give silent treatment to them because when they did something to make us feel very iffy, very icky, very upset, very annoying, in expressing all of those emotions, we are afraid that they're gonna dismiss our feeling, that they're gonna reply to us in a, that's not a big deal. Why are you upset about this? Why are you angry about this? Why are you bringing up about this small thing? We are afraid they are gonna treat it as not that big of a deal and that we are the one who is being dramatic. Now, I do get it. I do get it wholeheartedly because there was one time where I was on Vietnam trip with my colleagues when I was interning at this one place, and I happened to make a friend, and she was very nice, she was very kind, she was very logical, she was very grounded type of person. So I get along really well in hanging out with her. So we decided to go on this Vietnam trip with like 30 or 40 colleagues. I had a crush on this guy. That was a long time ago. And I got to know him a little bit. We talked to each other a little bit about our interests, about ourselves while we were on the bus. There was at one point where my friend and I came up to him and also his colleague as well. We decided, hey, let's hang out together. Let's grab a drink together. I froze. I didn't have the gut to speak to him so casually. What you mean? You are asking us for numbers in order to message and to hang out. This is my opportunity to like get to know him and get his number. But like I nudged her instead, and then she complied. At nighttime, he DM'd back to her in a sentence that he only wanted to hang out with her together. And that's it. There's some part of me that also misconstrued the communication as well and assumed that, oh, he only wants to hang out with her and not me when I am the one who has a crush on him. My friend and I, we were roommate at the time. And so I was very quiet. I was very upset toward this whole conversation. So then I did not talk to her at all in the hotel. I was trying to forget about all of this stuff that happened by taking a nap. And she can tell that I got angry, but then I didn't say anything. I didn't want to have that argument with her. I didn't want to shout at her because of a guy. What do you mean we argued over a man? No. Once I woke up from a nap, she was very courageous. She came up to me and she's like, let's talk about it. What upsets you? Why are you upset about it? Let's just clear the air because I don't want us to argue while we're not seeing each other eye to eye. Like, I want to be friends with you genuinely. So let's talk about it and let's make up. And that is where I really admired her because she's very straightforward type of person. She's also very logical as well. And so a lot of the times when there's a problem, it is in her instinct to find solution immediately. You know what? I was being a little bit childish because I was giving her silent treatment. I'm really glad that that day she came up to me and she was like, let's talk about it. She was being the adult in the room. She was being the grown-up one. And we ended up talking and I ended up expressing my feelings to her, even though there was a toxic pattern within me that screamed that, hey, you shouldn't talk about this feeling. You shouldn't talk about how you feel because it does not matter much. Why are you feeling this way? It's not that big of a deal. Why do you tell her this way? Like, don't you think she's gonna dismiss your feeling? Those are like my toxic negative pattern that often scream back to me, like insecurity that scream back to me to not do it. Whenever I try to communicate my feelings, whether it is small or big, it feels like my nervous system is screaming back at me like, don't do it because you're gonna be disappointed that people dismiss your feeling. But she ended up not doing it because she is a good person. She is very kind and empathetic. I'm still glad that I go against that toxic pattern that I've always had within my personality and take a step toward having conversation with her. So we're still friends till this day. And whenever I have any issues, whenever I feel upset over a small thing, I always tell her beforehand. And she always tell me too, like, oh, if there's anything that you're upset about, like, just tell me. It shouldn't matter if it is a small situation or a big situation. As long as it upsets you, as long as you feel any some sort of way toward any situation, talk to me about it. And whenever I'm upset about something, whenever whenever I'm sad about something, whenever I'm disappointed about something, I'm gonna tell you too. That is the foundation of our friendship, is that whenever there's situation that needs to be addressed, we always communicate it directly, because now we are an adult. We do not have room to be giving each other silent treatment. That's the rule that we set at the forefront of our friendship anyway. And so I'm really glad to still be friend with her to this day. You know what? I'm able to talk about it now and rehash it back all in a fun, lighthearted way, because I got over it already and that dude doesn't even matter in my life anymore. So this is why I'm saying that a lot of the times when we give other people silent treatment is because we don't think that they are able to validate what we feel. We are afraid that they're gonna dismiss our feeling and deem it as not a big deal and deem it as, oh, we are being too sensitive, we are being too much. If you have good people in your life, good partner, good friends, any person that are very close to you, they'll probably want to understand you more. They probably do not want you to close yourself off. People who really do love you wants you to express yourself unapologetically and authentically. Take that leap of faith, reach out to them. And I think sometimes it is very difficult to ask for help. We feel very vulnerable at that moment. And there are a lot of times where we are afraid that people are going to judge us by thinking that, oh my God, you're so weak. You cannot handle this type of situation. You cannot handle this. Like, girl, get up. You are a grown adult. Just move on. Like, there are a lot of times where we are afraid that people treat our experience as something so minuscule, as something that shouldn't even matter, when it matters the whole world to us. And if you take a leap of faith and they ended up being there for you, emotionally support you, I want you to applaud yourself too for being courageous enough to express your feelings towards someone. Step into your sincere self of expressing your personality, expressing your thought, expressing your experience, because people who really loves you, whether they are your friends, whether they are your partner, whether they're your family, they are ready to be there for you when you need it. They are ready to be there to emotionally support you when you need it. I think sometimes it's just in our brain that we do not want to burden them with our pain, with our struggle, with our trauma. And honestly, there are going to be people in our lives where we trust. The opposite can happen, of them dismissing our feeling, of them looking at us differently as an insecure person. That's when you know those type of people are not meant for you or are not meant to be in your life. And I'm very blessed to have friends who are kind, empathetic, very supportive to me during my hardest time as well. But I want to get back to the silent treatment. Silent treatment is a defense mechanism because it protects you from expressing your feelings to people, because your nervous system is afraid, or your instinct or your gut, or I guess your brain or your heart, I don't know what it is, but it is a system that protects you from expressing your feeling to other people and the possibility of other people rejecting that feelings, dismissing that feeling, judging our feelings. And so it's something that protects us. And I don't want you to shame yourself. I don't want you to feel angry with yourself either for having silent treatment, but I want you to take that leap of faith. I want you to be courageous. Like that Cinderella movie. Like whenever I think of the word courageous, I think of Cinderella live action movie where she remembers that phrase from her mother and she takes it and apply it through every moments and situations of her life. Life is all about learning. You're not a superhuman where you learn all of these important life lessons in one go and then you're done. And then you become a good person, and then you become a confident person, and then you become a strong person. Life is always a journey of learning good behaviors and unlearning toxic behavior. And so do something small to change it up every step of the way that you walk on your life journey. It's very hard, of course. It's not going to happen overnight where all of a sudden you stop giving people silent treatment and you become this perfect adult where you fully communicate your feelings perfectly to people when you have disagreement. Of course not. But in taking the first step to doing it, like reaching out to people first when they upset you and you feel like you need to address it because you love that person and you don't want to hold grudges against that person. Reach out to them first, like, hey, I know you said this the other day in a joking way, but it feels kind of iffy to me. I don't think we should be doing this. Like we shouldn't be talking about this, but that's just my opinion, okay? Just want to let you know because I don't want to hold that grudge against you. I don't want to hold any resentment towards you. And I just want to express that it feels a little bit iffy, so hope that's okay with you. Boom, done. I know it's easier said than done. That's why it's important to be courageous. I feel like I'm repeating myself so many times. This is me also learning along the way as well. This is day 5 of improving myself every single day. Anyway, I also want to ask you, how is your day today? Let's start a discussion in the comment section below and form a small community. Thank you for staying, and I'll see you later in my next video.